Greetings from Lisbon Falls Christian Academy. We are going to do a little training video, and this one is going to focus on placement tests. Placement tests are very important for the school as it helps us to determine the student's academic level. Students can come from public, private, homeschool scenarios. Every school has a different curriculum and method, and it's very important for us as we use these placement tests to determine the academic level. We want to be sure we know what they have mastered, which is important with Ignatia as it uses a mastery-based system. And also we want to be sure of what they have not mastered so we can fill any holes or gaps in their education. All right, so let's dive into placement tests. If you have never been on the Ignatia page before, which is possible if you're watching this video, is placement tests are the first thing that need to take place in order for a student to enroll. If you look up here, first of all, you have the address, lisbonfalls.ignatiaschools.com. That entire thing is important. If you leave off the Lisbon Falls, you could end up in the wrong place. So once you get there, I would bookmark that. Then you put in your username, which should have come in to you via an email. You would put that in right here. I've got a fictitious student already loaded, and then your password. If this is your first time logging in, you will be asked to change your password. This student has already logged in before, or the fictitious student has, so let's dive right in. So when you come into Ignatia, you're going to come into this home page, and we are right up here under the help. I would highly encourage you to watch this video. This is going to orient you with the platform Ignatia uses for his academic program. So start by watching that. We also have a message center. This is like email. This will be covered in a separate video, but this is extremely important for communication between the teacher and the student. There's one other method called a help text or help memo, and we'll see how to use that later on. But the message center is one of two ways in which you can communicate with your teacher. Where you are going to be for your placement test is Learn. You can locate it under Assignments. You'll see it right here. And you can also locate it under Courses. Now I'm going to go under Courses for a particular reason because it gives me a little better feel for how much I have to do. So if you come down here, you'll see History Placement Test. You actually see a progress bar as far as how far along you are. You click this arrow and you come in here and you'll see here's the placement test. Now most of these are skipped. You don't have to do them. Placement tests usually will be at least 2 or 3. This one is just a sample, so it's only 1. So this is actually a short placement test. This one here is level 5. Often you would have probably level 5 and level 6, or level 4 and level 5. If you click this arrow, you're going to go into the placement test itself. You can actually see our test student has started it, and he has gotten 3 placement tests done. Okay, he is on his 4th. This placement test has 9. Now you can access the placement test by clicking this arrow, and when you click the arrow, it says quizzes and tests must be completed once started. You have 1 attempt to do it, and this is true of all Ignatia tests. Quizzes are different once you get into the courses, but tests you have 1 attempt, and the placement test is the same way. So you do not want to start this unless you have time to complete it. So if you don't want to do it, you click not at the moment. Now I'm going to go over to assignments just to show you how it works there. Same idea. If you go to assignments, you click the arrow, you get the same message, and let's say we are ready. Now when you get into the placement test, you can see this is the 4th quiz. you know that you had a total of 9, if I remember correctly. So you're, in this case, we're almost halfway through. If you look over here, you see you have 10 questions. You see the title of the quiz in our history placement. It is New Lands in Troubled Times. And then down below it asks you, what would you like to do next? And you're committed at this point. You can't back out. If you do back out, you're going to get, at this stage, you would get a 0. So it's very important that once you get into here that you do not back out. Also, these screens can time out. So if you get sidetracked with anything, be careful, watch your time. You really want to be sure that you're in a good, quiet spot so you can work on this. All right, so work on the questions. Now, if you can kind of tell from the scores that were on the screen, I am not trying to really read these. So this, if you pick whichever answer you think is correct, and then you click next question. And we're just going to breeze right along. Again, I am not reading these, but you would read multiple choice, pick whichever you think is correct. That one I happen to catch enough of, so I know that that's the correct answer. You can track your progress over here. It says you're on question 3 of 10. And again, we are going to just breeze right along here and just do the best you can. You do, again, this is going to set your academic level, so it's really important you do the best you can. Notice your progress. You're on question 7 of 10. And now, and you click next question. Let's say you incorrectly click submit answer or turn it in, and you have missed a question. I want you to see what would happen. It literally says, hold on, you have one question, or if it was 2 or more, and it gives you the option to go back in. So if you miss a question, like if I had skipped question 9 and had answered question 10, it would tell me there is one question unanswered. If you click this here, it's going to take you right back to the question you skipped. Or if you click turn it in and you say no thank you, it'll bring you right back here. So it gives you a chance to finish the quiz. When you're all done, you turn it in, and you'll immediately see the score. As you can see, I guessed on a few of them. I was able to read enough, but I guessed on most of them because I wasn't even reading the question. All right, so you now have an option. At this point, you can go back to your assignment page, or you can keep going to the next placement test. Remember, you had 9 to do. I'm going to click keep going, and you see you get the same warning. You get 1 attempt. Don't start this unless you're ready. And in this case, I'm going to say I'm not ready. So we're going to back out of it, and we'll go back into assignments. Now, you can see it's already lined up for your next quiz. In your placement test, the United States become a world leader. Again, you can do the same thing here, or you can go into courses as a quick review. You can go down to the placement test, and you can click this arrow, and you can see what's been assigned by what wasn't skipped, and you can access the placement test. I like this view because it shows me what I've done and what I have to do, and it kind of gives me an idea of what's coming. So hopefully you have found this helpful. I recommend or encourage that you try to get, placement tests can be very long. Remember, this is a short one. Most placement tests are at least going to be double this size for a subject. So if you're doing language, math, and reading, which is what's commonly done, you would have 3 different placement tests that would be double the size of what you're looking at on average. So it can take a little time to do it. I encourage them to be done as soon as you can, but don't rush through them. So, for instance, on this placement test, if you can get it done in a day, that's great. Try not to take more than a couple days to do your placement tests. It's important that we get them back as soon as possible. All right, so thank you very much, and tune in for more Ignatia training videos.